All cameras rolling, audio sync in 3, 2, 1. So first up, with any new set of props, it's good to always do a hover test. That's what I'm talking about. If you find that your drone is jittery or is going haywire, you hear a lot of twitching, now something is wrong. No jitter, no nothing, just doing its own thing. But I can say that it's smooth, it's very smooth. I mean, that's my first impression. What's up fam, the real Rahim here. In today's episode, I'm gonna be reviewing a new set of props, actually prop adapters. They are actually adapters so that you can be using your standard FPV 5-inch props, 5236. That means it's a 5.2 inch by 3.6 pitch prop. These are by Gemfan, the Hurricane set of props. But that's not the start of the show. Today we'll be talking about the Gofly FPV prop adapter for DJI FPV. So what's in the box? A pair of prop adapters, 2 sets of course, 2 pairs. Okay, some screws, the exact amount of screws that will be for you to mount the adapters, and also a pair of wrenches, you want to call them. So this is what you're gonna get. Let me do it influencer style. So it's an adapter with a clockwise going nut. Why I needed to mention clockwise is because some motos, the builds of old FPV drones, the nuts will either go clockwise or anti-clockwise depending on the motor rotation. But nowadays all I see is all 4 of these are in clockwise. But before I get the adapters on, I'm gonna rip a bit so as to get a familiar feel of how the sticks feel, so I can give you a better opinion once I get them on and fly around. Not to mention, very straightforward, it just pops right on, and you gotta screw in the 3 screws that are required, that are given, and props on, ready to go. That is such a ugly color scheme. Never mind, it's alright. Something to note is that if you are planning to get these and also with these props, remember that when you are fixing them, these props go outwards. We call them outwards because it's away from the camera. That means to say that if you pick up anything, it's not going to be throwing it back at the camera. These are the outward rotation kind of setup. So okay, I'm gonna get flying. Losing light very fast. I mean, you can't see it on the image, but it's getting a bit dark here. So I'm gonna rip a bit and then give my first impressions. Alright, not exactly a full-scale review because I'll have to be using this in the long run. So first up, with any new set of props, it's good to always do a hover test. So let's check it out. So far so good. That's what I'm talking about, okay? If you find that your drone is jittery or it's going haywire, you hear a lot of twitching, now something is wrong. But this set of props, so far so good. No jitter, no nothing, just doing its own thing, hovering in place. Okay, let's get ripping. Something to note is that there is no what's that thing called, electronic image stabilization going on, so you can see exactly what is happening to the drone and whether there is any jitters of the drone as it's going around. Something is missing here. I don't feel or see much prop wash in the turns, and the drone seems to be very planted. It's flowing smoothly. Yeah, I don't see jitters. Control wise, not too airy. Okay, turns take a bit more effort. You need to bang in the turns a bit more, but I can say that it's smooth. It's very smooth. I mean, that's my first impression. Yep, not that I noticed any prop wash. How does it control in the turns, in the flips? Smooth. So far so good. Okay, my first impressions of this setup, this set of props also, it is very nice. I feel a sense of control, and I don't see I mean, we already know that the props fly well. I'm guessing that due to the pitch, due to the overall make of the props, this set of props don't, how to say, don't grip as much, have a bit more, how to say this, it's not about power but more about control. Looking at the prop width, can I call it, it's not as wide as the DJI FPV props. So yeah, it's basically, I'm just trying to tell you that the props are kind of thin, but maybe because of it being thin, it is a bit more controllable, less twitchy, really smooth. I don't see any form of jitters or any bad prop wash coming from the props. But then again, I'm not really pushing it here. Okay, let's see if throttle punches have any issue. Okay, exactly what I thought. Okay, you may not see it, but I'm giving full throttle here and I'm not getting much of a push. So exactly what I thought. These props are not as grippy compared to your stock DJI FPV props, but definitely they fly smooth. Now let me just bring it in and have a mention. I think I have enough of a impression to tell you what I feel these props are about. Okay, bad camera angle, but let's give a quick impression of what I feel this whole setup is about. So now about the adapters, they are of actually very good CNC machining quality. The build looks good, it fits very well. There's not much of adjustment that you need to do, or there's no adjustment that you need to do when fitting these adapters. Now while I was tightening the props just now, then I realized why they gave you two wrenches, because one is for you to hold on to the top mount and then the other one is for you to tighten the nut. Okay, so that makes sense. So now I tell you about the pros of having these adapters. I got the free use of my 5-inch props. I got different pitches to try. I wouldn't call it exactly the reason for having this so that I can keep changing props like a 5-inch drone, because we keep changing props for the simple reason that we have crashed our drones. So I mean, we all know that if you were to crash this drone, for me it's just one use, which is versatility, the options to use other type of 5-inch props. Are you really gonna save money? Well, the prop adapters cost quite a sum. So maybe in the long run may prove its cost effectiveness, but right now not really. Just right now for me it's just so that I can use my 5-inch props. Now about the props itself, let's compare to the original DJI FPV props. A lot wider, isn't it? Right, compared to these props. These are very thin, so in with presumptions of that, I already know that it will not catch the air as much, but there are pros and cons of that, because it has proven to be a very smooth flight. Just that when I want to take turns, I have to bang in the drone a bit harder, just a bit more control for taking the turns, and very clear that the power delivery is not all there. Okay, because I did compare throttle punches with the DJI FPV prop. They were quite responsive, meaning to say the power delivery was very fast, but with these props it was kind of absent. So I guess what more can I say? The cons of using such a system is that now I need to pack up. I will definitely need to unscrew all of them, versus having a DJI FPV prop I can just pop in, pop out. Right now it's just inconvenient that I have to unscrew all of them. So I'm gonna pack up, I'm gonna wrap this video right here. This is just first impressions of having such a setup. Excellent flight, by the way. I didn't see twitches. For what it's worth, it has made this drone fly a lot better, a lot smoother, and a lot more controllable. Works well. The whole kit is working very well for me right now. Will I keep to this setup? Probably, because I do want to have another session where I really push it, do some freestyle, do some hard tricks, and then let's see how it performs then. But till that episode comes along, I'm gonna wrap it up right here. Now, if you've liked this episode, do give me a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, do join me for more FPV, DJI FPV content coming up by subscribing down below. Ask me any questions by leaving me a comment. I'll get back to you soon. And pilots, as always, I see you in the skies.